Well, you made it this far with me, then you truly are a unique person in the world, and I'm grateful for you. And I wish nothing but for you to experience more fully the truth of who you are and to know and live in that God mode, to be that in your life. It's what I wish for all of humanity, for all of us to remember who we are. I know it's what lives in the heart of all of us. I just know it. It's the truth. And at the same time, to have compassion and love for every person on their path, what they choose, where you are, what you choose for your life is for you. It's your purpose, your path. But if you hear something in what I'm sharing here, feel something, if this God mode is something you've tasted in your life and you're like, yes, I want more of that, you know, then good, you're in the right place. And I love you for that. I want that for you. I want to help you to live that, to be that. And I know for me, uh, that third level, was quite a few years living in this amazing bliss and love and just flow with life and just having so much synchronicity and magic and freedom and traveling the world and all these things. And then there came a period of time where that all started falling away. And I ended up moving back to where I grew up, which maybe what happens to a lot of us. I had my son, such a blessing in my life, and being back in my hometown, which is so sweet. And it was this beautiful time. This old town neighborhood in the Front Range of the Colorado Rockies, and sweet community and neighborhood and old trees and the river and the mountains and family and my son and good food and chickens and fruit trees and growing foods and just having this beautiful life. But something was like slowly dying in me, and I kept being confronted by the old patterns of my life. Kept finding myself confronted by the victim and the saboteur and the depression and the addictions, and there came a point where I just like literally was waking up just like fucking hating myself and hating life and just like what is going on? Like, I have experienced amazing states of bliss and peace and that level 3 of love, and then to be here in this darkness and like feeling so separate from everything. And I was missing the life that I had and couldn't see it back in the world, right? Back in the 3D, living in the, whatever, suburbs, living in the society and all its patterns and all the things I worked so hard to get away from and my life and just being confronted by all of it. But eventually I started really doing the work. As one of my teachers said, it happened to him, it forced forced him to actually become a spiritual human being for the first time in his life. And I felt it much the same way, because we no longer have all the tools, the community, all the bliss, all the synchronicity, whatever. It's the dark night of the soul. You feel so disconnected from what you know is really true. It's all the more worse now because you've come out of that and you experienced such expansive possibilities, and then now here you are back down in the darkness and the limitations and all the of life, this human body. I've actually been through several cycles of this by now as we keep going around this hero's journey. And yeah, it was rough. But I started singing. I started playing guitar and singing songs, and that started carrying me through. And I go sit by the river, and I go sing out at the sunrise, watch the sunsets, and just keep praying to life to help me to find this again, help me to heal this. And I started seeing through all my prejudices of the world, all the concrete, all the buildings, all the ways that wasn't this beautiful wild, all the ways that we get so disconnected, and all my hatred of that started seeing through that. And all these things were beautiful, but they still, like, I still was so immersed in my own suffering. And even though I knew I was empowered over my state of being, I couldn't do it. I couldn't escape these like dark feelings and all this. Ugh. And there even came this moment. This probably really was a part of that deep, like, finding that love, finding the real heart after so many heart awakening experiences. But I just imagined, I saw myself gathering up all the suffering, all the things I desired in life, all the things I was craving and desiring, all the things I hated, everything, and I just pulled it all in, and I just brought it all in, and I brought it all into my heart. And I literally felt everything come into my heart, and then it like exploded. And I was like, this heart orgasm, and I just felt so much love in this instant. And that was phenomenal. I wish that for everybody, to feel that heart orgasm, that bliss of that heart that we have, return to love. But even with that, they still had these patterns of things that kept showing up. And there came another moment, because I started finding a way to practice this heart. As I was saying, bringing your focus and your feeling and into your heart, that would awaken this higher heart, and that would work for a little bit. But there was still like all these things sitting in the darkness and the shadows, and they kept consuming me and coming back. So finally, it was this one night. It was like in August, really hot, and I had my office out in the garage, and it just sweating at night. And I'm just sitting there in the darkness, and I finally was just like, fine, and I just surrendered. I felt like I had like thousands of voices of suffering, like I was in the hell realm. I could just feel the suffering of all of humanity. I could feel everything. I could feel all the ways we suffer. I can feel it right now if I allow myself to do it. I feel it. I feel you. Because we're here. We don't ever get away from that hell realm. We got to be here in it. And this is what happened. I just surrendered fully to that. I just welcomed it all in, and I felt it, man. I felt all the pain, all the grief for 10,000 souls for thousands of years, suffering in this hell realm, all this kind of, and I didn't resist any of it. I just like opened myself completely to feeling it all. And then it was like this little seed of light came down through me and all the way down into that darkness, through my heart, and then just went, and there I was. And just this radiant presence of love. And I didn't do anything but welcome everything in. I just didn't resist anything. Was completely immersed in all of the darkness, allowing it all to be here, and then it had no power anymore. This light just boom. And there I was. Here I am, this pure loving awareness, just present in the beauty and the magic and the love and the bliss and the peace, in the darkness and all the grief and all the suffering, all the despair. It's all here, but now none of it has any power anymore. And this was another point that's changed my whole relationship to reality. And what I began to discern even more deeply, and it relates to all these other stages, the levels and the practices that I've been sharing here, that I started to really grok this truth about resonance, and that we're always choosing, and that there's nothing but love. You can be connected, be empowered, and be loved. They're all here. And then I started to see, living in this God mode. Here I am, knowing this, I am this field of pure loving awareness that is holding this experience as human, but also is the field that's everything. And then seeing, oh, every time my humanness, the thoughts, would deviate from that alignment, from resonance, how that would bring me back into whatever states of suffering or dissonance, right? Discomfort. And then I just would pause, focus back into my heart, expand, feel this fullness, this vortex of energy, our central axis of energy and light through us. Expand out into that, and then I would be free of that, whatever suffering I was just creating for myself. And I just started to see this real clear understanding of resonance and alignment to truth within ourselves. And the more that we tune into that, the more it brings us into that God mode, into that God state, into the truth of who we are, being the source, being one with ourselves, with God, with life, with everything, with everyone. It's all right here. We're choosing it. We're actually choosing to forget that. We're programmed to not believe in that, to forget about that, to not believe that's true. But when we remove all the programming, we come back to our core essence, when we're just fully present in our fullness of what's really real and what's really true and in alignment, it's love, it's God, it's oneness, it's here. And it's so beautiful. But not only that, it's also what creates our experience, and that creates not only how we're experiencing ourselves within our reality, our body, our thoughts and emotions, our actions, but this is manifestation. This is how we are creating frequency and vibration, which creates our experience. This is the highest mystical level of living as in the mode, God mode. And so I started to develop a practice, a technique for how to go into God mode through the heart, activating this higher heart and expanding up and down into the field, feeling the full field of awareness, expanding into being that. And it's a practice to go directly into the God mode. And then you can work with what's showing up, what's the pattern, what's the trauma, what's the story, what's the energy. I can feel that. I can integrate it. I can bring it back in. I can open it up. I can alchemize that and create a new pattern, create a new, energetic, or just be in pure presence and love, and with it and with all of it. Not need to do anything. I can just be what I am. You can just be what you are. We can be what we are, which is what we are. So there's the 4 levels of God mode and the simple steps of to be connected, be empowered, be loved, and be God, because that's what you are. And when you forget, as we all do, now you know how to come back. This is the practice. This is the path. And it really is that simple. And when you get good at this, you can go right into God mode. You can stay there. You can learn to work with your energy to be in that God mode in your life and be a blessing to the world around you just by being you. You don't need to do anything else. You just be the blessing of being you. This pure loving awareness, what you are. And that's how we heal ourselves, that's how we heal the world and our life. That's how we be the light of love, shining upon the world. And it's as simple as that, but it's not easy. So, if you like what I'm sharing here, please do leave some comments or reach out to me. If you want to learn more about how to get into this God mode, how to live from this, how to work with these steps, I've got things you can follow. I've got a course where I'm sharing this. I've got a card deck to help you find alignment, follow your own truth. I've got things and tools and coaching you can work on one-on-one with me to help you along the path, knowing that wherever you're at is perfect. It's all good. And you don't really need any of this. You can just be what you are. But if you want some things to help you move along the path, if you're wanting things to be different in your life, if you're wanting to remember more deeply the truth of who you are, if you really want to feel that love, I'm telling you, you can. You can be that. You are that. And tools and things can help you to do that. But ultimately, it's prayer and connection and alignment and love and surrender that will bring you right into it. And that's all you need. That all you need is God. All you need is love. There you go. Wishing you so much blessings and much love.